Hey, it's Holden and JSU. It is the final countdown, NBA edition. As we're hanging out here on this Friday, we got a lot going on in the world. We got 7 games tonight, JSU. 7 games. You always spent a lot of time on NFL today. You and I did some shows. I did a whole bunch of shows. You've been doing a whole bunch of shows, but it's time to switch our focus. We got a 7-game slate tonight. This isn't the jabroni slates of 3 and 4 games we've seen earlier this week, JSU. It's a bigger one. So a lot going on. I do want to get to the big injuries right off the top, though. It's not really an injury. Giannis is not feeling great. He's out. Jimmy Butler out. Nerlens Noel out. Joel Embiid sick. He is out. Kyle Lowry is going to make his debut. So you see there's some pretty big injuries here today, or pretty big names that are sitting out, JSU. So I wonder what your take is on some of these, like Embiid and Giannis in particular, and even Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, didn't we get news on Andre Drummond as well? I
will get you some news on Andre Drummond in just a moment.
I thought we got news that he wasn't in, but yeah, check that out real quick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been sitting in this chair recording for about 3+ hours now. Mm-hmm. So, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk some NBA. It's going to be a good shift over from NFL, but this slate is going to be real interesting with all these big names, all these guys out. 7 games to talk about. I mean, we got a lot to talk about here, especially with the studs. Who does that help? Giannis being out, guys like Drew Holiday, maybe Chris Middleton. Bobby Portis has been playing really well this preseason. Maybe he gets a couple more minutes. I mean, he was getting like 19, 20. Like if he gets 20 again, he's probably still a solid play at his price tag. So, yeah, I mean, a bunch of stuff to get to. It's going to be an interesting slate. I think Zion is crazy underpriced at 6,200. I really like him. And no Giannis in the game. That just helps him in general because Giannis is a solid defender and down low, blocking shots. So that's just going to help Zion a little bit more. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pumped to talk about this slate.
Well, yeah, and Drummond's out. JaVale McGee is back. So there you go. That's the news on Drummond.
Oh, JaVale thank God. JaVale McGee is back. I can't wait.
Dude, you don't even know. You don't even know with this guy. 2010, Wizards, pooping in shoes, bringing guns in the locker room.
Oh, God.
I mean, like, it was champion of the idiots, him and Nick Young and Gilbert Arenas. Wow. But Drummond's out. McGee is in. Let's get into this here, I think. And then tomorrow, I mean, this is for tomorrow. Rondo's out tomorrow, but big deal. We don't care about that right now. Let's do it. Let's get through these games, and we'll start with Miami. We'll go team by team. How about that? Dragic expected to play tonight. I wonder what your thoughts are on Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Herro is supposed to be in there at 5.5 on DK. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I don't know if we got news on like exact minutes for them, but it's nice with Jimmy Butler out. That just takes kind of one starter out. Tyler Herro is really good at 5,500. Is not a bad play here. I really want to see what they do with the second unit, specifically guys like Precious Achiuwa at 4,300. Their young rookie who I thought was going to get a little more time, to be honest with you, last time out. He didn't. He came in the second half, and he played a lot in the fourth quarter, pretty much the whole fourth quarter, I'm pretty sure. Maybe some of the third, too. He looked good. Honestly, though, he didn't look like he was in great game shape. He kind of looked tired 5 or 6 minutes into his stint. I don't know, how his, conditioning was, but it didn't look great to me. He looked like he had his hands on his hips and his knees every chance, there was a stoppage. Like you could just tell he was tired. But I think from a fantasy standpoint, this guy could end up being a really good fantasy player. If he gets some extra run here, I would like him at 4,300. From this Heat Toronto game, though, I don't love this game as much. Yeah, you have
real quick. Let me just throw this out, and I found that the Heat starters will not play more than 25 minutes tonight. I mean, nobody's playing more than 25 minutes, are they?
Actually, there have been a few coaches that have been running their guys out there, 28, 30 minutes. Thibodeau, he'll always do that stuff, but for the most part, most of these starters are seeing, 22, 24, 25 minutes. So that just means that like they're capped at 25 If they see 25, though, a lot of these, like if Tyler Hero sees 25 minutes, he's a good play at 5,500. Bam Adebayo is the same. Like if Bam sees 25 minutes, he's still a good play, even though he's 7,500. Like I'd prefer Tyler Hero at 25. The question is, do they see under that amount is the question. I don't even know if I want to take my chance here with this team, seeing as I didn't really love this game to begin with. Not really too much on the Toronto side either. Even like Lowry being back, I'm just going to probably stay away from that whole thing. Unless we get news that like the starters are going to see like 25 or more minutes. But after that, I'm probably off.
Well, let's get away from that game then. Again, the news here just broke about 5 minutes ago. Andre Drummond is out. I wonder what you think about Okoro and Darius Garland. And I mean, you actually put a spot in the playbook, but I'm going to keep this spot open in case we get more news breaking. Well, you got news breaking, buddy.
Yeah, so AP, I'm sure, is updating the playbook. He's always updating that playbook, so I'm sure he's on that. But Andre Drummond being out, I mean, that puts a huge hole in this Cleveland team. JaVale McGee is going to start. I can't see them running JaVale McGee huge minutes. I mean, like maybe he gets 20 minutes, maybe a little more, but I can't see them pushing him that hard. They got Thon Maker. They're going to run a small ball lineup, I'm pretty sure the quote was, where they got Okoro, CD Osman, I think Colin Sexton and Garland. Yep, so that's kind of and McGee. So that's kind of interesting here. CD at 4,100. He's an interesting play to me. A pivot off of Okoro. I don't know how chalky Okoro will be, but I assume he'll still be popular. I think those two guys are really cheap. They're the two guys from Cleveland I'm kind of looking at. Nothing wrong with JaVale McGee at 4K. I think if you want to go there, he's minimum price, so you can't argue with that. But first game back, I don't know how much run he gets. Does have block upside, does have upside rebounding, which is good for him. And then Colin Sexton, first game back, 6,200. I don't think I'm going to go there. Darius Garland, to me, is the fantasy player that I don't love. He's a good shooter who doesn't really do enough everywhere else for me to love him, but he is cheap. That's what you can say. Like if he's hitting his threes, he is cheap enough, but I prefer CD Osman. I prefer Okoro at 41 and 4,200 probably over the guard position. So that's where I'm at with Cleveland. From the New York side, any other news before we get into
I do have some breaking news elsewhere, but let's go through the Knicks real quick, and then I'll get that out to you. But and I don't even know how much it's going to affect this, but like Julius Randle really stands out for the Knicks. Is this chalk?
Yeah. Do we have a starting lineup officially? Is Mitch Rob in there?
I will get that for you right now. I'm still looking, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, Julius Randle is a great play at 6,400. He's still underpriced. He was underpriced last time out. We liked him last time, and he did well. He's underpriced again. RJ Barrett, another guy who's really underpriced, 4,800. Very up and down rookie. I will say I'm not super sold on RJ Barrett long term. I think he has games where I'm like, whoa, like he stands out the whole game. And then he has games where he just fades and I don't even notice him. Like, which RJ Barrett are we getting? But at 4,800, it's still a value. And I assume he's going to play solid minutes. They have all these guards out, right? Like no Alfred Payton tonight. They've got no Austin Rivers still. No Ntilikina.
Gilchrist. Here's the lineup. I got it for you, okay?
Yeah.
Dennis Smith's out. Dennis Smith Jr. So we got RJ Barrett, Reggie Bullock, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and then Emmanuel Quickley is going into the starting lineup tonight. Yeah,
so I like Quickley at 4K. I think he's a nice little pivot at guard, maybe off of RJ Barrett, who I expect to be somewhat popular. I think Quickley's a solid play here. You said Mitch Rob was starting too?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean Mitchell Robinson is a solid again at 4,600. I think if I was ranking these Knicks from a fantasy play, I think Julius Randle is just one. I think his safety and security, even at 6,400, I like. Mitch Rob would be 2 with still no Nerlens Noel. And then I'd go right to these guards, and I just say with all these guards out, I think Quickley is 3 for me, and RJ Barrett would be 4. I think that's how I would rank them. in this scenario. I'm probably not going to have much RJ Barrett here. But again, he's got upside. It's just, to me, he's very up and down, like more than I would have hoped for.
We'll get to the Brooklyn side here. I will get you all the information you need in just a moment. We got Durant. We got Kyrie Irving going out there, putting some smoke out there. I don't know what he was trying to do. He's like got incense and he's walking around. Very confusing individual. Spencer Dinwiddie as well. So give me those three names, then I'm going to go try and get you as much as I can about the lineup here.
Yeah, so Kevin Durant last time saw about 22 or 24 minutes. I would expect him to see that time again. Maybe they up his minutes a little bit. So I do like him at 8,700. I'm probably off. Like, there's so many good. The Brooklyn Nets are very deep here. Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyrie Irving, Karis LeVert should be back for this game, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So if he's back, that's just another really good player. They got Joe Harris, who's a shooter. They just got a lot of depth here. Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan at the center spots. Probably going to be off a lot of these guys outside of KD. But I mean, if you played Kyrie Irving, you could play Kyrie Irving. He's a great basketball player. I just prefer Kevin Durant when they're $200 apart.
You like Durant a little bit more there. Okay.
Yeah. If Kyrie was like 78 or 77 and there was a little bit more of a price gap, I would have a little more interest maybe in Kyrie. But with them so close in price, give me KD. I'll take KD here.
Okay, very good. I'm trying to get a little bit more Nets news before it goes, and I haven't seen too much. I'm going through every single beat writer there.
Yeah, well, let me hit up. I'm just going to hit up Boston right now. Boston's a team that I really don't want to target at all. I just not going to do it. Thies is back here, Daniel Thies, and still no Tristan Thompson. But they've got a bunch of guards that they're running out a bunch. The one guard that was really impressive that I don't know if I'm going to play, but Peyton Pritchard, man. So I live outside of Boston. I have a few buddies who, man, they were texting me all game. This dude looked really good. And right when he got in, and my phone started blowing up about how good they think this kid is right off the bat. Might be their Boston homerism, but he looked good to me too. I was very impressed with Pritchard, and he might be the backup. He might be the backup guard here in Boston. I know they signed Jeff Teague, but it might not take that long for him to oust Teague, because Teague's an old veteran. So we'll see what happens there. But I don't really like the Boston side that much. I don't want to spend too much time talking about Boston just because I think there's just too many guys that I like elsewhere in the price ranges that like Brown and Tatum. So I'm not going there. And then I think they have a bunch of guards that they're going to give minutes to. So I'm just going to stay away.
Yeah, I'll just throw out the lineups real quick that we got so far. Is that cool? You got time for that? Cleveland,
yeah. Garland,
Sexton, Okoro, Osman, and McGee. And then we got Quickly, Bullock, Barrett, Randall, Robinson for the Knicks. You go down to Boston, Smart, Javonte Green, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and Tice. And then Robert Williams is going back to the bench. I saw that piece of news. Then OKC came out with SGA, Dort, George Hill, Baisley, and Horford. And that's what we got right now. Those are the games that we got posted right now.
Yeah, I mean, so let's just hit on OKC in Chicago while we're there. You talked about their starting lineup a little bit. They said that pretty much they were trying to get their guys in game shape, and they ran them out kind of what would probably be somewhat of their normal first half run, but then all of their starters outside of, I think it was Justin Jackson, saw no run in the second half. So I would assume that in this game, they would probably give them a little bit of run in the second half. Maybe it's not their full work in the second half, but I don't really know. It does kind of scare me a little bit because I like the price tags on SGA. 5,700 for SGA is a value for how good this kid is. Al Horford, even though he's old, the ball, like I said, the ball still runs through him. He still can get a lot done from a fantasy perspective. At 4,800, around there, and Darius Baisley at 46. these price tags are too cheap. The problem is, do they get run in the second half? I mean, you could, in a GPP lineup, if you're making making multiple lineups, you could take a shot that they do give them run in the second half. And these guys could easily outdo their price tags here. I think the Bulls side is going to be somewhat popular already, just because Levine went off last game. Kobe White in the second half went nuts in the third quarter. It's absolutely bonkers. And then Otto Porter, who we were on, and he had a really good game. Only took like 1 or 2 shots in the second half, which kind of drove me insane. But did everything else you could really ask for outside of that. We'll see. We'll see if I like him here again. I think he's still too cheap. So I think going back to the Bulls is smart here. Someone said in the chat, OKC stars will play some into the third quarter. If that's the case, I think you can load up on some of these OKC guys. The 3 that I specifically talked about, Zoe, was Al Horford, SGA, and Darius Bazley. So, yeah, if that's the case, then, I like it. I think you bring it back with, a Levine or a Kobe White or both, if you want to go there again, or Levine or White and Otto Porter, who's a little cheaper.
By the way, Jay Reed, there's no product in here. This is just straight me. I did not clean up the Exxon Valdez. And by the way, nobody under like 40 knows what that is. So don't worry. You don't know what the Exxon Valdez is.
I have no idea. Yeah. I'm just laughing because he's commenting on your hair.
They all are. They bust my balls. I don't mind it. I like it too. Exxon Valdez.
Holden earlier was crying about his hair. He had a winter hat on while we were recording an NFL show because he didn't want people to see his hair. I mean, come on.
There you go.
That's diva-ish, Holden. That's diva-ish.
This is diva-ish. If there's one guy.
You worrying about your hair.
Oh, like I said, I'm trying to get back on the workbench. Who knows who's watching?
That's why I just shaved my head.
Exxon Valdez was one of the most catastrophic environmental disasters ever, where an Exxon boat, the captain was like wasted and he crashed it, and Alaska just got trashed with oil. They're still cleaning it up like 30 years later. It's just awful. Anyways, let's get back to business here, buddy. So you're talking about OKC and Chicago. Anything else you'd like to add to that? Oh, I have a question for you then. If you're playing 2 guys from the Bulls tonight, who are you playing? Is it going back to Levine?
I mean, I think it's tough between Levine and White. I think it's going back to Levine, and I like the cheaper savings with Otto Porter again. I think it'd be those 2, but if you told me Levine and Kobe White, I'm going there again. I have no problems with it. Another guy we didn't even talk about, Patrick Williams, who looks like he belongs in the league already after a couple games of me watching him. He looked better each time I've watched him so far. I mean, this dude could end up being a stud, and we're just kind of watching him. Again, like I said last time out, everyone thought he was overdraft, they kind of reached on him, or at least the people in the media and all the draft people. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they did. Just watching a couple of games, this dude looks like he could be the real deal. So interesting with the Bulls here, but I do like the Bulls side, definitely.
I mean, so I'm just throwing a lineup together here, and I got 3 Bulls in there. Is that too much tonight? I mean, I'm looking at Levine, I'm looking at Porter, I'm looking, and now you throw Williams in there.
In these type of preseason games where we don't have these players going for a huge amount of minutes, and when we say 25 minutes, like to us in preseason, that's a lot. Like that's good. If your guy's getting 25 minutes. If you could ever make a lineup where you're locking in 25 minutes for every guy, that would be amazing. So I don't think people necessarily are going to run out lineups where they have 3+ players from one team. I just don't think those builds are going to be very popular. Now, the Bulls side might be somewhat popular, but will they all be together? That's the question. I don't think they'll all be together. I think people will take 2, but I don't think people will do 3. So, I'm sure people were heated in Chicago about that pick. I don't know. I think they should be apologizing soon. I'll just say that. This dude looks real.
I would just want to throw some questions in here because we're getting them right now before we go through the rest of the games. FanDuel point guard, Cody wants to know, who's your guy?
FanDuel point guard. Just one? He wants a
He
pair.
said FanDuel court point. Give him a high price guy, a mid tier, and a low tier.
I mean, the pricing, again, just FanDuel. Being FanDuel doesn't even matter because that's what FanDuel does. So you can literally play anyone you want and you don't have to worry about your salary. Kobe White looks good to me. I like him a little bit. I like Jamal Murray. Again, I think he's solid. And, man, going back to Dame, he disappointed us last time out. I think that's interesting. I think my pairing at point guard would probably be playing in tournaments. It would either be going Kobe White, Dame, or I just want to check something. So Quickly is at point guard as well for New York, and they're down like all their point guards. This dude might get a ton of run. You could play him here. I think that's interesting for tournaments. So Quickly and one of Dame or Kobe White would be the GPP pairing, but I think the safer pairing would be Kobe and Dame, unless we get news on Dame. So, yeah.
Hey, Connor Butler, you guys got a promo for NBA. Yeah, Buckets 15. Thanks, D's Nuts. Appreciate you throwing that in there for us. D's Nuts. Buckets 15 if you want 15% off your lifetime subscription. We got that going on right now. So by all means, sign up. Got the guy here. We got the NBA. We got NBA coverage up and down. My God. He says he didn't want to sign up for NFL, but he loves the NBA. So fine, let's do it. Did JSU give out a core yet? No, we haven't. Let's get through the end of this and then we will we can do the core, okay? Or do you just want to do the core now? They want the core.
Let's get to. I want to talk Milwaukee, New Orleans.
All right, let's do it. No Giannis.
I think there's a lot to talk about here before we get into anything else. So let's start on the Milwaukee side. Why not? So they're out. Let's see. DJ Augustine's out. No Giannis. So I mean, Drew Holiday is the first person that just naturally pops into my mind as someone who I'll probably have some exposure to here. And then after Drew, Chris Middleton, I think you have to look at some Chris Middleton. Got 30 minutes last time. We'll see what the minutes are, but I think Chris Middleton and Drew are the two obvious guys. I think Bobby Portis is the other guy that you should look at from this team. DJ Augustine saw 19 minutes. So who gets a little more? Is it DiVincenzo, who got 19? I think he's an interesting value. But for me personally, I like Drew. I like Bobby Portis. I like Chris Middleton. Those are the three that I'm looking at having exposure to. And then after that, what do we got? The New Orleans
Portis gets the start. You got the starting lineup, right? Was that what you just threw out there?
Holiday, I'm assuming it's
Holiday, DiVincenzo, Middleton, Portis, Brook Lopez.
I was going under the assumption that Portis was definitely starting. That was just what I assumed, but he is. So that's good. What stinks about that is if he was coming off the bench, I think he'd be lower owned. So that kind of stinks because I liked him either way. I would have liked him starting or off the bench, but whatever. What are you going to do? Still a good play. And going to the New Orleans side, let's do it. Zion, like I said, I think this dude's a great play. Bobby Portis, one thing about Bobby Portis, really good on the offensive end, really good. Can score, can shoot from the outside, can score on the block, can get rebounds. Not as great of a defender. I think Zion could have a good game here. Brandon Ingram, another guy who I really like, 7,900. That's a nice price tag there. I think some people maybe will look at that and say it's a little too much for them, but I think he's worth it still at 7,900. Bledsoe is back for this team, so I'm probably not going to play any Lonzo here, even though he's one of those guys. He always hunts for rebounds. He gets assists. He just can't shoot. Like I'll say, these Ball guys, the Ball brothers, they just can't shoot. If they could ever get jump shots, man, they'd be real because their passing and their playmaking is real. Like it's just they need to get a jump shot. If they can, they could be really good players for a long time. That's their problem. So I think for me, it's Zion, it's Brandon Ingram, and I'm probably moving on in this game from this game. So yeah, I mean, I think personally, those two games that we just talked about, the ad just popped up. No, nothing. I had ESPN just had an ad pop up.
Screw them. All right.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
Those two games.
Those two games are probably the most popular of the two. Those two and the Cleveland, New York game, which is always has been popular every day. Like those are the three games that get the most love. So yeah, I mean, let's go to the Portland Denver game. Do we have any news on these two teams?
I'll get it for you. I don't have anything written down as of yet. We got Lillard, Covington, McCollum is the guys that we got in the playbook. Guys, stay patient. 3 or 4 minutes, we'll get you the core. Okay, I know they're pining for it right now. I do not have a starting lineup for them yet.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I would assume that Portland pushes their starters a little bit more. I would assume Nurk gets a little more time. They've been kind of easing his minutes, very slowly with him, which I would expect. But I do like him if he's getting a few more minutes here. He's always a guy who in short time, 20-ish plus minutes could do work. He got 20 minutes last time, took 10 shots, went 3 of 10 from the field. So he's someone who, if he's hitting his shot and he's getting a few more minutes, I could see got 8 rebounds. So that was good. He does a little of everything else. So I like him. Dame and CJ both saw 30 minutes. If Dame's seeing 30 minutes again, we got to go back. I think even though the rough game, I think we still got to go back. He had a rough shooting day, 1 for 8 from 3. One thing about Dame Lillard, I think he's amazing, but sometimes when he is off with the shot, kind of just starts being passive, passing it off and letting CJ do his thing or letting others do his thing. They've got Melo, they've got Covington, they've got other pieces. So that's kind of what happened. He was off, and then he just started kind of passing the ball towards the middle and end of the third quarter. It's tough to see Dame Lillard have another 1 for 8 3-point shooting game. So I don't mind going back here if they're going to give him more run. And then from the Portland side, Jokic played 25 minutes again, 8 assists, 11 rebounds, 12 points. I mean, what more do you want for fantasy, right? A guy who does literally everything you can ask for. I think he's a great spend up here. Jamal Murray, 24 minutes last time out. I think he's solid. He's still kind of underpriced. I mean, I think this game is under-owned, honestly.
He's 5,600 on FanDuel, on DraftKings, Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's a crazy price tag, no doubt.
Yeah, they definitely didn't do a very good job on that one. So the last game then, Lakers, Suns at this point. You going back to Ayton? You talked about him the other night. Kuzma, another guy I want you to talk about too.
Yeah, Kuzma seeing big minutes, looking better. I'm not a huge Kuzma guy. I think he's like pretty much a scorer, but he's looked really good. The other guy we were on, Horton Tucker, who just continues to get it done. He's the preseason hero for the Lakers. So he's interesting. You can make the case that his price tag's going down, and you can make the case that, yeah, he might see less minutes, but if he's still getting in that 20 range, he's still a decent play here. So I like him again. Not much else in this game that I love. I mean, Ayton to me under 7K is still a solid play, but I think I'm going to be off of most of this game outside of maybe having a little Horton Tucker, but I'm not running a ton of lineups. I only got on DraftKings, I only got 1 or 2, so I'll just be I'll probably be off this game for the most part.
Is this our last free show before the regular season starts, JSU?
Yeah, this will be the last free show.
So
yeah.
I'll say this again. You're watching for free right now. You're getting the best advice there is. Buckets 15% off the life of your subscription. Go to runpuresports.com, type in Buckets 15 and get in. Because it's not just the NBA. And if you bet, throw in another $20. You get our bet site for $20 a month. And they've been absolutely killing it. So things are going well here. All right, JSU, let's get your core. We'll try and answer some questions too. But who are the guys you're building around tonight? Is Mitchell Robinson in there?
Yeah, so for my core, I personally like going back to this Chicago OKC game. I think that this game has a lot of good plays in it, a lot of cheap plays that you can pair with studs if you want to go that route. So for me personally, the choices between, do I go with Zach LaVine, Kobe White? I think everyone's got to kind of make that choice. You could play them both together. But I'm going back to my boy Otto again. His price came down. I'm going to go right back to him. 5,200 price came down. He's going in the core. Still hopefully be somewhat underowned. Al Horford. I know he's not very good, but again, they don't have anyone. It's exactly like I laid out for you guys last time. It's literally like 3 guys. Nobody else can shoot on that team. Like Baisley, SGA, Horford, like those are the guys who can have decent shooting games and take big multiple shots, a lot of shots. They don't want Lou Dort shooting. Like he was shooting contested threes. I don't know why they were telling him to shoot contested threes. Maybe to build his confidence. But I mean, the dude should only shoot when he is literally wide open because it happens enough. So for me, the core is going to be Otto Porter, Al Horford, SGA, and our guy, Bobby Portis. That'll get you guys enough to get whatever you guys want. So again, SGA, Al Horford, Otto Porter, and Bobby Portis in the core here this week.
Any reason to run a guy like Durant or Anthony Davis out there tonight?
Durant, to me, if he's getting a few extra minutes, I think it's a great play. I'm on the side of Durant being the best scorer in all of basketball when he's fully healthy. So me personally, I think Durant is a stud. Jokic to me is the one that he just does a lot of everything. I think Dame is really interesting for tournaments as a spend up because I don't think people are going to play him. And then I talked about Nurkic. The dude literally only needs 22 to 24 minutes. He could smash 6,200. So, I mean, I don't want to give too many plays away. I already gave a bunch of plays away, but
I know. I
think those plays are under-owned. That's kind of my thing. And remember, guys, on FanDuel, you can play the pricing doesn't matter as much, right? Like the pricing means nothing. So you can play any of these guys. It's just a matter of the studs you like pairing with. I think on FanDuel, the one thing people should be doing in these scenarios is if you play Dame Lillard at point guard, you could still play Jamal Murray. You could play Kobe White, but playing a quickly as opposed to playing those known guys, I don't think people are going to do that as much. So I think on FanDuel, the strategy should be, maybe you don't do that in every single spot. Like you don't do that in point guard, shooting guard, small forward. But in a few of these spots, I think you got to do that where, shooting guard. We've got Booker, CJ McCollum, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, SGA, Drew Holiday. This is a loaded position. Mm-hmm. And man, it's hard not to look at that position and be like, I'm going to get off playing one of those 2 guys for a Horton Tucker, someone like that, who's all the way down here we can't find. But that's just going to make you different. So, I think doing something like that is really interesting. Any news on the LeBron 80 minutes situation?
I've been scouring the Lakers this whole time, so I can't tell you that at this point.
Okay.
My last decision's down to Mitchell Robinson versus Bobby Portis, so I'll have to figure that out before the end of the show.
Well, I just put Bobby Portis in the core. How the heck are you not going to go?
I don't know. You like Mitchell Robinson too. It's you like this guy, but you like this guy. And
I literally just gave him out on the core though. You could play them both together.
There, it's done. How about FanDuel, guys? I know you just gave out a whole core and stuff. Can you give out a player too on FanDuel specifically though? Because we keep getting FanDuel questions. Because you can literally play who you want. So
yeah, on FanDuel, guys, we got to remember blocks and steals mean a lot more. So those type of guys who can rack up the blocks and steals are a lot more valuable. I'm still going to say that I like I like my guy Otto. I'm going to go back to my guy Otto there. So I'll throw him in there. I'm going to throw SGA, and I'm going to throw Zach LaVine just because I like those two guys. They were in my core as well for DraftKings. And I'm going to throw Quickly in there. I think that playing a Quickly on a site like FanDuel, where they don't reward you for spending down, like spending down at one position doesn't get you spending up at another position. So I think playing a guy like Quickly at point guard, where I don't think many people are going to make that call, is really interesting. So yeah, that's what I'm giving.
I mean, it really is just amazing how we're not finding a lot on the Lakers right now. The only thing, when you type in Lakers, you just hear Jerry West calling the Lakers a shit show when he was trying to get Kawhi to the Clippers. And now he's under investigation, so that's wonderful. Come on, Jerry West, man, don't mess with him. Who are the top 2 spend-ups on DK? BP wants to know. Who's the big spend-ups tonight? Is it Jokic? Is Jokic count for spend-up?
I mean, I would say so. I think that anyone in that, he's probably asking for that like upper 7K-ish and up range. I like Zach LaVine. I like Drew Holiday. I think those are 2 guys that I would throw up there. If you're looking for like an 8K guy or more, I'd go back to Dame Lillard again. I wouldn't be afraid. Remember, 1 for 8 from 3. This is Damian Lillard. He's going to have good shooting performances. I'm sure he wants to have a better day than last time out. And Jokic, again, I think is a great spend up if he's getting 25 minutes.
All right. We'll move on to, Kyrie or Levine in the flex on DK. MC Dusty wants to know.
Levine for me.
Okay. Jokic or Durant, DK GPP. Kind of went through that, right?
Yeah, I think it's. I think for me, it's Jokic, but I have no problem with Durant. Yeah. How about that? How about DeJounte Murray yesterday? How about that? He looked really good again. I'm just going to continue to pat myself on the back for those plays because, again, like no one likes playing this dude, but he is so talented. I don't get it.
Hey, you know what? If you like JSU's analysis here, or you like my hair, will you just hit the like button already? I mean, when it's all said and done, we're going to have over 500 people that watch this. You're coming in. We're going to
get a dislike for people not liking your hair.
I don't give a damn. I don't care about dislikes. JJ's dad thinks dislikes are good. Did you know that? JJ from the bet side? His dad used to dislike his videos because he thought that was good.
BP again, coming in strong on the chat. Hit the like button.
Yes.
Like, come on. Like, let's go. BP, he knows what's up.
All right, Mike Dunn. Randall and SGA or Kobe and Barrett?
Randall and SGA. Kobe and Barrett. Randall and SGA.
Levine or Kobe if you had to choose, JSU?
I would lean Levine.
Lean Levine. Not all the way, but definitely.
I'm leaning Levine.
Very nice. I like that.
Does he – to me, Levine is like that guy, I think – and I said this yesterday to someone, but Levine is that guy I think we're going to target against really bad teams all year. He just takes advantage. Whenever he's facing a bad team, he just seems like he always takes advantage of these guys. And it's just, he's so good. And I think it's just underrated how good he is because he plays for the Chicago Bulls. So no one really cares. But like for fantasy, I think he's a guy all year we're going to be talking about as like someone who consistently we're going to like.
Nice. I like that. Let's just start going to our guys. We'll go Big T style and just go to our guys. Bad matchup, we're going to play him. I literally only played Murray because of you. Thanks, JSU, says Jay. So there you go. See? Look, give likes, ding-dongs. The guy's giving out some great advice here. You're not ding-dongs, but you know what I'm saying. Would you go AD over Jokic if you hear the Lakers starters get more minutes tonight? Ooh, good question.
Yeah, if AD were to get 25 minutes, now we're talking. Now we're in a conversation with Jokic. But I will say, man, Jokic, this guy just does everything. It's so hard to get away from him. I think if AD gets 25, though, if AD's getting Jokic's minutes, then yes, you can pivot off Jokic to AD. But if Jokic is still getting the 25 and AD's getting, I don't know, 15, 18, 20 minutes, I'll still take the extra minutes with Jokic.
Holiday Middleton or SGA Tatum? Torrey Hall wants to know.
You got to read me that question one more time.
Holiday and Middleton or SGA and Tatum?
Holiday and Middleton.
All right. Zoe McNeil. Zion or who? Is it BL? What did he say here?
Is it Brandon Ingram?
Okay, it's a BI. Okay,
Yeah,
I couldn't tell. BI, Ingram or Zion? You like Zion a lot tonight, don't you?
On DK, it's tough not to look at that price difference. I will say from an ownership standpoint, though, Brandon Ingram will be lower, in my opinion. So if you're looking for a lower-owned guy, it's BI.
It's BI as your guy. Yeah, it really is amazing as we have done.
I really think on DraftKings, I mean, I'm playing one lineup. I don't think it's crazy to leave a bunch of salary on the table here, like on this slate. I think there are a lot of good plays that are underpriced. It's going to make you different too, but man, I'm just like looking at some of the guys that I really like on this slate, and I'm just like, I could pay up for, someone, another guy in that like mid 7s, 8K range. But if you love your lineup and you have like 1,000 or 1,200, 1,500 left on the table, like I would just play, like I would play it. Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? It's going to make you different. Yeah. It's going to be tougher. You're playing guys like maybe you're playing Otto Porter over, Chris Middleton, like you have like 1,600, 1,500 left over, 1,400, but you're choosing to play Otto Porter over Chris Middleton. I'm not saying that's like Chris Middleton's probably a better play when you look at it, but I'm just saying in general, I don't know, like I don't hate that. Or playing Bobby Portis, like you're choosing Bobby Portis over Middleton. Like I don't hate that style of build because you're going to be so much more unique. And they're all like, these guys are good plays. You can get really good plays.
Levert's coming off the bench tonight, just so you know, if anybody was
Levert. That guy's I love that kid. That kid is
good.
He's a hooper. I hope he gets traded somewhere where he can just be the guy and ball.
All right, less than a minute here, real quick. Zion or Markkanen?
Zion.
Otto or RJ Barrett?
Otto.
Zion or Horford on FanDuel?
Zion.
Quickly or Portis?
Who?
Portis. On DK.
Portis.
That's it. We hit lock, everybody. Well, that was fun. You know what, dude? After doing a full day of NFL, doing a little NBA is kind of fun. I'm excited.
It's a good change, right?
It is, right? It's like fresh.
Pace,
yeah. And then the other thing is like Sunday morning, we're doing our show. We're getting the inactives out. It's kind of like all at once in the NBA. It's just like everything's coming out, but it's also a slow draw because by the time things lock on this show, we still don't have the late game lineups, so you really have to be using the Discord, I think, is the big way to go, isn't it, JSU? Like if you have questions about the later games and you're not already plugging guys in, what's the best way to get in touch with our analysts? The Discord. Yeah,
I mean, I've been getting hit up on Discord, throughout the slates and, questions asked to me. And I mean, obviously, we want people to watch the shows and get all the content in. When we have, regular season, we'll have core plays every day and tier sections and all that stuff for our subscribers and everything. But yeah, I mean, you can hit me up at me in the NBA Discord channel at, AP, BigT, Hoop, Mangone, all the guys, DC. You can add anyone you want and hit them up with the question. And I know for me specifically, but I know for most of those, like all those guys, like we try and answer every question we get. Obviously it's tough once we hit lock to get every single one, but we do our best even after lock. I'm doing it. I'm coming off 4+ hours on, live or recorded shows, and I'm sure I'll be still in there, answering some questions after lock and stuff like that. But, it's good. I want to see people win and people do well. And shout out to a couple of our subscribers. I think it was like 2 nights ago, had both of them had big sweats in that like $10 or $15 GPP. I know one of them came in second. And, I hope we continue it rolling into regular season.
Again, if you like what you see here, even if you don't, just try it out. Buckets 15% off life for the subscription. Add the bet side for $20. Brett Astaire's our NBA guy over there. I cannot wait to tail this guy. He's spectacular. Hit the like button before you go. We'd really appreciate it. Again, if you're not a member, do it. We got so many testimonials from guys that are subscribers that are just winning. It really is something else. I am so happy to be a part of this team. All right, JSU, let's get out of here. If you didn't know, if you are a subscriber, Sundays, if you play NFL, the Morning Wood Show starts at 10 Eastern. And then JSU and I are on for the final countdown. We go up to about 12:45, answering all of your NFL questions. Okay? So that's it. That's all we got.
And also we have a Saturday Wood Show that's out talking about the 2-game slate for NFL. So if you guys want some NFL info, you want to check out the 2-game slate, we posted that video. It's up already. You can check it out. Obviously check out our NFL content. And next week we'll be starting the old NBA content. Woo! It'll be fun. So hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. For JSU and Captain Behind the Scenes, I'm Holden. Great luck tonight. Have a great weekend, and keep running pure.